Amara woke to the soft glow of morning slipping through her bedroom curtains, a quiet moment she usually treasured. The scent of clean cotton sheets, the distant hum of Lagos traffic, the crow of a rooster, these were her comfort. But today, the air felt thick, heavy with a warning she couldn't name. Her guts, sharpened by a childhood of her father's empty promises, told her to be on guard. Something was off. In the kitchen, pots clanged with a strange rhythm. Amara might have smiled, imagining her husband, Chike, trying to cook. He was more likely to burn yam than make a proper meal. But the sounds were too careful, like he was staging a performance. When Chike walked in, carrying a tray with sliced bread, mango wedges, and a steaming cup of Zobo drink, Amara forced a smile. "Breakfast in bed? You are trying, no?" she teased, her voice light, though her skin prickled. Chike's smile was warm but tight, his eyes watching her too closely. "Just wanted to do you something nice," he said, setting the tray on her lap. A sharp bitter smell hit her from the Zobo, hiding under its sweet hibiscus scent. Amara stared at the red liquid. Nothing looked wrong, just bubbles rising. But her heart raced. She lifted the cup, barely brushing it against her lip, and faked a sip. A metallic taste stung her tongue, wrong and heavy. She grinned away. "Tastes good," she lied, her stomach knotting. The cup had a small chip, easy to miss unless you looked hard. Chike's eyes flicked to it. "That old cup," he said, "too smooth. You always say it's your best." Amara's chest tightened. She didn't have a best cup, especially not this chipped one. Her sister Nneka had given her a bright beaded glass she used every day. Why was Chike lying? "Yeah," she said softly, tracing the chip's rough edge. "It's nice." His laugh sounded forced, his eyes cold. As the day went on, Amara couldn't shake her fear. The house felt strange. Its tiled floor too shiny, like a clinic with a faint chemical smell lingering. Chike's small actions, brushing a crumb off the tray, staring at her, felt like he was waiting for something. She remembered a sweet night early in their marriage, Chike dancing with her under the stars at a wedding, and her heart ached. Could that man be the same one standing here? So stiff, his eyes hiding secrets? Over the next few days, Amara's body started acting up. She would be frying plantain and forget the oil. She'd step into a room and her head would spin like the ground was shifting. Nausea hit her hard, and headache stabbed her temples. At first, she blamed stress. Her job at the art gallery was busy, and Chike's business partners kept her running with parties. But the dizziness got worse at night, waking her up sweaty, her mind racing with blurry dreams of dark shapes. She visited the doctor, hoping for answers. The test showed nothing. No malaria, no brain problems. "Maybe it's worry," the doctor said gently. "When last did you rest?" Amara gave a weak laugh. Rest wasn't an option. Chike had a big deal coming, and she was swamped. Plus, she didn't feel safe alone with him. The thought made her shiver. That metallic taste from the Zobo stuck in her mind. She noticed it elsewhere, in her toothpaste, in her water. Was she imagining it? She started checking everything, sniffing her drinks, tasting her food carefully, watching the house like a hawk. She even thought of hiring a detective, but that felt too much. This was Chike, her husband, the man she'd vowed to love. Yet, her body was shouting danger, and she couldn't ignore it. Amara wasn't one to pry. She believed everyone needed their own space, but her fear pushed her one afternoon when Chike was out. Her stomach churned as she slipped into his study, a room he kept locked, saying it held private business papers. The desk was too neat, files stacked like soldiers, pens lined up. It spooked her. Then she saw a locked drawer. Her pulse jumped. She searched another drawer, finding a small key hidden under some receipts. Her hands shook as she opened the drawer. Inside was an old envelope, some papers, and a tiny bottle labeled scopolamine. The name rang a bell. A drug that could mess with your head, make you forget. Her blood ran cold. Under the bottle was a note with a Zobo recipe: hibiscus, ginger, sugar. But the last line stopped her heart. 2 drops max. More will show. Her legs wobbled. This wasn't just a bad feeling. This was proof Chike was doing something terrible. The front gate creaked. Panic surged. She shoved the bottle and note back, locked the drawer, and darted out, her heart pounding. Chike's voice called, sharp. "What were you doing in my study?" He stood too close, his eyes hard. Amara's mouth went dry. "Just needed a pen," she said, forcing a smile. His jaw tightened, but he let it go. She felt his stare as she walked away. That night, Amara barely slept, her mind spinning. Why was Chike doing this? Was he trying to make her crazy, or worse? She remembered him mentioning his first wife, Adaeze, who died in a car crash. He'd been in vague and she hadn't pressed. Now she wondered if there was more to it. The next day, while Chike was at a meeting, she went back to the study. Her hand trembled as she opened the drawer again, finding a hidden folder marked A. Inside were photos of a smiling woman, newspaper clippings, and an autopsy report for Adaeze Okoye. Amara's breath caught. Adaeze had died from a mix of sleeping pills and alcohol, but notes in Chike's handwriting talked about dosages and how drugs could mimic accidents. A photo showed Adaeze looking worn out, her eyes sunken, just like Amara's reflection now. Her stomach twisted. Had Chike hurt Adaeze too? Amara snapped pictures of the papers with her phone, her hands shaking. She wasn't just scared, she was angry. She wouldn't let Chike do to her what he had done to Adaeze. But she needed more than papers. She needed proof he couldn't talk his way out of. A week earlier, Amara had set up a small camera in the kitchen to watch their new dog when they were out. She had forgotten about it until now. Alone, she checked the camera's app, scrolling through clips of the dog chewing slippers or napping. Then one clip froze her. It showed Chike early that morning, alone in the kitchen. He pulled out a bottle, filled a dropper, and added 2 drops to a chipped cup of Zobo. He looked around, then stirred it, acting normal. Amara's mouth went dry. This was it, proof he was poisoning her. She saved the video, emailed it to herself, and hid it in a secret folder. Part of her wanted to confront Chike, to smash the cup in his face, but her God said to wait. He'd slipped up, and that sleep could save her. The next morning, Chike's mother, Ngozi, arrived without warning. Her heavy perfume filling the house. She hugged Chike, but gave Amara a stiff pat. "How is our hard-working Amara?" she asked, her smile sharp, her tone full of judgment. Ngozi had never accepted Amara, always hinting she wasn't good enough for Chike. Too soft, too dramatic. Amara swallowed her anger, smiling back. If Ngozi knew what her son was doing. Chike headed to the kitchen, saying he'd make drinks. Amara's heart raced. Was he going to drug her in front of his mom? She followed, pretending to fetch water. Two cups sat on the counter, one chipped, the one he gave her, and a bigger one for guests. Both had Zobo, steam rising. Amara's mind raced. If she did nothing, she'd have to fake another sip. Keep playing this deadly game. But a bold idea hit her. While Chike grabbed sugar, she quietly switched the cup, putting the chipped one where Ngozi would sit. Her hands shook. She wasn't out to harm anyone. She just refused to be the one hurt. In the living room, Amara set the cups down, her pulse pounding. Ngozi picked up the chipped one, sipping slowly. "This tastes funny," she said, her brow furrowing. "New recipe?" Chike's voice was calm, but his eyes darted to Amara. "Just trying something different," he said, sweat beading on his forehead. Amara lifted her own cup, plain Zobo, no bitter taste, and faked a sip, her stomach in knots. Had she gone too far? 10 minutes later, Ngozi started shifting in her seat. Her hands trembled, and her eyes blinked fast, like she couldn't see straight. "I feel off," she mumbled, her words slurring. The cup slipped, shattering on the floor. She slumped back, her body limp. Chike jumped up, shouting her name. Amara froze, guilt and fear crashing over her. She hadn't meant for this. She grabbed her phone and dialed 999, her voice shaky as she gave the address. Paramedics rushed in, strapping Ngozi to a stretcher. Chike held her hand, his eyes wide. "What did you do?" he whispered to Amara, low so no one else heard. She met his gaze, forcing calm. "I didn't drink the Zobo," she said firmly. "You tell me what happened." His fist clenched, but he couldn't speak with people around. At the hospital, Ngozi was stable but confused, her memory patchy. A paramedic held up a bag with the chipped cup pieces. "What did she drink?" he asked. Amara glanced at Chike, whose face went pale. "That's the one he gave me," she said carefully. "I gave it to her." The paramedic nodded, mentioning a drug test. Chike tried to brush it off. Maybe something she ate, but his voice cracked. Amara stayed quiet, her heart racing. The truth was catching up. 2 days later, a detective named Ibrahim called. The hospital found a drug in Ngozi's blood, something that messed with memory. They were investigating, especially after recent cases of tampered drinks. Amara met Ibrahim at the police station. Her nerves raw. She told him everything, her dizziness, the strange Zobo, the bottle in Chike's desk, the video. She handed over a flash drive with the footage and photos of the papers about Adaeze. "Why now?" Ibrahim asked softly. Amara's voice shook. "I was afraid. He is my husband. I didn't know if anyone would believe me." Ibrahim nodded. "This is enough to move forward. Be careful. Don't let him know we are looking." Amara left, hope and fear mixing in her chest. She wasn't alone anymore. Back home, the house felt like a cage. Chike watched her every move. His smile is fake. One afternoon, their longtime cleaner, Funke, showed up, looking nervous. "I have to tell you something," she whispered, twisting her hand. She had seen Chike in the pantry, measuring a clear liquid, writing note. He said it was for health, but it wasn't right. Funke said, eyes down. When I heard about your mother-in-law, I couldn't stay quiet. Amara's heart sank. Funke's word matched what she had found. Chike's secrets were unraveling. That night, Amara could not sleep. She thought of Adaeze, the wife no one mentioned. Chike had said her death was an accident, but the papers told a darker story. Amara wasn't just fighting for herself, she was fighting for Adaeze too. She had to stop him. A week later, Chike invited business partners for dinner, acted like everything was normal. Amara played the perfect host, her nerves on edge. Ibrahim had said they were close to an arrest. As they sat to eat, the doorbell rang. Chike frowned, muttering, "Who's that?" He opened the door to find Ibrahim and two officers, their faces stern. "Chike Okonkwo, you are under arrest for the suspected poisoning of Ngozi Okonkwo and the attempted poisoning of Amara Okonkwo," Ibrahim said, his voice clear. Chike's face drained of color. "This is madness," he stammered. "No evidence." But Ibrahim held up handcuffs. "We have proof. Come with us." As they cuffed him, Chike's eyes looked on Amara, burning with anger. "You did this," he hissed. She held his gaze, her voice steady. "I just stopped drinking your Zobo." The officers took him away, the door closing on his lies. The guests sat shocked. But Amara felt a weight lift. She had survived. Weeks later, Amara moved into a small flat in Ikeja, a cozy space with bare walls and sunlight pouring in. The trial was coming, but the evidence, her video, the bottle, Adaeze's papers was strong. Ngozi, recovering but still foggy, had visited, blaming Amara for breaking the family. Amara stayed calm. "I'm sorry you feel that way," she said, "but he broke us first." Ngozi left, leaning on a stick, a hint of softness in her eyes. Maybe one day they'll talk again. In her new kitchen, Amara stood by the counter, a simple clay cup in hand. No chips, no lies. She had avoided Zobo for weeks, the memory of that bitter taste too sharp. But today she felt ready. As the kettle hummed, she poured hot water over hibiscus leaves, adding a spoon of honey. The steam smelled warm, sweet, like a new beginning. She took a slow sip, the flavor soft and clean. No metal, no fear. Amara smiled, the morning sun catching the cup. She thought of Adaeze, of the justice coming, of the life she was building. Each sip was a promise to herself to never stay silent again. A new day had started and she was free.